Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday morning. Well, it's that time of year. Kids have gone back to school. Most of them, at least. Some of the colleges haven't started yet, but most people have gone to school. Whether it's elementary, middle school, high school, kids off at college, whatever. How prepared is your child or grandchild to get home in case of an emergency? Okay. Whether it is an EMP, whether it's full-blown nuclear war, whether it's martial law, whether it's pro-Palestinian protesters threatening to kill kids on campus, right? I'm talking to you, NYU, okay? Have you thought about how the kids are going to get home? Have the kids thought about it, okay? Probably not, as children, as very young adults, they're more concerned with, chasing girls or the beer party this weekend that somebody's got a keg or anything. But if the world blows up, do they know what to do? Do they have the bare minimum? Do they have a bug out bag or at least something? Now, it's going to be different here for age groups. Obviously your elementary school, middle school, most of your high school kids are taking the bus to school or anything, depending on how far they live from school. Elementary schools, middle schools, usually pretty close to home. But even here, if I had children, it'd be a 3-hour walk from the elementary school. And forget it, the middle school and high school are half-an-hour drives for me, okay? So how are they going to get home? Well, obviously you're hoping they can call and say, Mom, come get me. But what if they can't? Fortunately, you know where they are, so you're going to go get them. So the school age, elementary, middle, high school kids are probably, big word there, okay, because you can go get them. Do they know where to meet you? There's the first thing. High school campus, my high school 40 years ago had 1,600 students in there. And you can bet that there's going to be 1,600 parents trying to show up. Make some arrangements with your kid, if everything goes up, to meet you in a very particular place, and maybe have them walk a quarter of a mile away or something. Okay, meet me in front of the gas station that's down on the corner by, from your high school, or somewhere that's a little bit of a distance, so you're not stuck in that massive traffic jam that is going to be everybody picking up kids. Okay, that's probably the easiest one. It's almost like doing a fire drill. If the house catches on fire, where's our central rally point? We're all meeting by the mailbox of the house next door or something, however that would be. Do something that way with your kids so you can get in, find them quickly, and get out. Okay. It's not like, cars look so different anymore. It's like, it's white, it's black, it's red, maybe it's blue. And, around here, it's like, oh, I'm going to be in the white pickup truck. Yeah, you and 80% of the rest of the population. They're not going to be able to see you from a distance unless you got some crazy vehicle. You're not going to be able to pick out your kid in a crowd of kids. Tell them to meet you somewhere that's a quarter of a mile away or whatever, to get away from the crowd, which is pretty much the very first thing you want to do in any sort of situation, is get out of the crowds. But let's talk about college students, okay? Ones that may be 50, 100 or more miles away. Hell, my daughter's 300 miles away. A lot of the kids are going to be living in the dorms. Maybe they live in an off-campus apartment. Maybe they live in a fraternity or a sorority house or something. How are they going to get home? Now let's go on the first premise and say the car runs, okay? Because if they're 300 miles away, my daughter's not walking here, that's for sure. Okay. So let's work on the premise that the car runs. Somehow, some way, they've got to get where they're going. Do they have the appropriate materials already pre-placed in their cars? Now, I'm not saying that they've got a full bug-out bag, though that would be great, okay? But kids aren't going to be overly concerned of, oh, Mom, this is such a great idea. They're like, Mom, you're nuts. This is not going to happen, okay? At a minimum, tell them it's an emergency kit or something just in case they break down. Let them go that way. Most colleges will not allow kids to keep a firearm. Okay, so that's out right from the get-go. And I would not suggest keeping one in the car, even if it's locked up or whatever, in the trunk, in an ammo box or whatever. If the car gets stolen, there's something like 60 or 70% of the guns that are stolen in the United States are stolen out of cars. Just give you this an idea. In an SHTF event, somebody's going to try to get a car, okay? If they see a car that is running, they're going to try to get it. If they get your car before you're in it, they also have your gun. But I'm just going on the premise here, they're going to get everything else too, so that kind of sucks. But at least have stuff pre-positioned. What should they have with them? Well, a change of clothes, at least one, couple of pairs of underwear, a couple of pairs of socks, a pair of tennis shoes, okay, or running shoes, or whatever you want to call them. Because if your daughter is in class all of a sudden and she's got flats on or Crocs or something, that's, or heels, okay, that's not something that you're going to be able to walk with if you've got to walk any sort of distance because you don't know what's going to go on. So extra socks, pair of tennis shoes should be pre-positioned. Clothing, depending on the weather, okay, have a hoodie, a sweatshirt, a sweater, jeans, an extra pair of something, because if they get wet, if they get filthy, not that we're worried about how well they look, but more along of how are they going to keep themselves warm. If they get poured on rain, they're soaking wet, there's nowhere to go to dry your clothes off, so you're going to be sitting there in wet clothes unless you have something to change into, okay? Some food, something, doesn't have to be anything big. At this point, this is where I would suggest something along the lines of your beef jerky or something in a package, the packaged tuna fish, for example, that you can tear open, because there ain't going to be any kids that are going to be carrying can openers, all right? So that's not going to be the greatest idea. Have it something that's in a can that you can open just with your, or not can, package that you can open just with your hands. Make sure that they have water. This, of course, is always the fun one because you got to rotate the water. You got to rotate the food too, but just not as often. But there should be a couple of bottles of water at least in there, or a good canteen, something that is full. A knife. And my suggestion, mine, would be a machete. Something that's got, a 12-inch blade, a 14-inch blade on it or something. It's a good tool for defense, but it's also a good tool if they get stuck on the side of the road that they can cut branches off with, or anything to make themselves a fire if they need to, which of course, hopefully the kids have matches or a lighter or something like that in the car as well. We're not going into trying to teach them how to rub two sticks together or, anything along the lines. Hopefully they've got a lighter and matches. But basics like that. A paper map. Don't count on GPS. Teach your kids how to read an atlas, how to read a paper map. Sure, they know the way home, right? And they get on the highway and they go all the way. just like everybody else is going to do. They're going to drive the interstate the whole way. What if the interstate's blocked off? What if the interstate is blocked by the military? What if there's so much traffic on the interstate, which there will be, nobody can move? Can they read a map and figure out the back ways? Okay. The 40-mile-an-hour roads through back road. I mean, most colleges are out somewhere in more, I don't want to say rural, but less populated areas, and they're trying to get to where you are. Do they know the back roads, the side roads? Having a paper map will help them do it. They need to know how to read it, okay? Teach the kids how to read a map. It ain't that difficult. Not talking about a topographical map, okay? A road map. Can they find where their college is on the map and where your house is on the map? Can they go, okay, I can't go this way, I need to go this way and get home? It's little things like that that are going to protect them, give them a better chance of getting home. And it's certainly going to calm your nerves a little bit in regards to being able to sleep easy at night going, okay, if something happens, the kids are okay. I mean, this election in 2 months is gonna be crazy. You know it, and I know it. We don't know where, we don't know how, but we do know that there's going to be, no matter who wins, a whole bunch of really pissed off people. And my bet is we are going to see pockets of violence like Portland, like Seattle, Jazz Chop thing, like Minneapolis, like Kenosha, like St. Louis. We're going to see that in other places. Your kids need to know how to avoid that stuff. Hopefully, most of you have had a conversation with your kids or grandkids about situations like this, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but tell them, hey, Junior, in a situation where all of a sudden COVID runs rampant and you need to get out, you want to head home, okay, but what if your car breaks down? What are you going to do? Do you have clothes? Do you have a way to start a fire or whatever? What if, AAA can't get out there because of COVID? I don't, think of some sort of scenario, and I'm just trying to spitball one here. But come up with something so the kids have it. It can be a little small backpack with the stuff stuck in the trunk of the car that doesn't take up, or under the back seat, that doesn't take up a whole lot of space. But at least they'll have some of the bare bones basic supplies. Now, obviously, if wintertime, just like your bug out bag, it needs to be swapped out for the seasons, okay? If you live way up north, ski cap, gloves, scarf, change the tennis shoes for boots, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, okay. You need to make it fit your situation. Remember, there is no one size fits all. I want you to think about that, about how to get the kids home. You may be home, they're not. Fortunately, most kids should be in better shape than the adults, okay? That if they had to walk or bicycle or something, they can get it. They have to get creative, because it isn't, Mom, come save me, because they may not have a way to call you, all right? And even if they did, there may not be a way to get there. If they don't know where they are, Mom, I'm somewhere between school and home, and the street sign says I'm at 3rd and Main. What town are you in? I don't know. Great, I'll be right there. Okay, doesn't work. Make sure they know the basics. Don't have to freak them out with the stuff. Just make sure they know the basics. All right. Being September, being Preparedness Month, I got another one for you. Okay. This one is a real short deal if you guys are interested. Heard from Elliot last night over at Wellbots. They have a sale that is going on this weekend only. Okay, it ends Monday morning at 6 o'clock Eastern. So basically you got today and tomorrow. If you are possibly in the market for a Delta 2, okay, which is the Delta 1300 second generation, basically it's the 1300 watt small generator, but it's expandable. Okay, it's basically the only difference with them. They are on sale this weekend only for $499. Plus, he's giving us a $20 coupon, so $479. If you remember 2 years ago, this is the 1300, the non-expandable one. This is the one that we were looking at for $835 that was refurbished. We're talking $479 for brand new. Okay, prices are coming down. This is a good one to grab. Hey, maybe get it for a Christmas present for your kids, and they got something that they can take up to the dorm room with them, and if they go somewhere, they got a little bit of electricity if the power goes out. Just saying, okay? Oh, and we'll give one away. Because we can, all right? I'll put the link in the coupon code below, but if you want to win one of those, we'll do this on tonight's live stream as well. In order to win for this one, you have to live in the lower 48. Your entry has to say what state you live in. Okay. And I need a word with the letter W in it. So 2 prizes tonight again. But if you are interested in winning it, be on the live stream tonight. You know how this all works. Same thing, 3 minutes. Got to be there. Must be present to win. 9 p.m. Eastern, all that sort of stuff. Okay. If you're interested in buying one, this is by far the lowest price we've ever seen. Here's your chance to grab one on the cheap. Have a good Saturday. We'll see you tonight. Pinball out.